Pain is only bearable if we know it will end, not if we deny it exists. For what then matters is to bear witness to the uniquely human potential at its best, which is to transform a personal tragedy into a triumph, to turn one's predicament into a human achievement. I try to do everything as soon as possible, and not at the last moment. This ensures that, when I am overburdened with work, I will not face the added pressure of knowing that something is still to be done. When a man finds that it is his destiny to suffer, his unique opportunity lies in the way he bears his burden. But there was no need to be ashamed of tears, for tears bore witness that a man had the greatest of courage, the courage to suffer. Man is not fully conditioned and determined, but rather determines himself whether he gives in to conditions or stands up to them. A man's concern, even his despair, over the worthwhileness of life is an existential distress, but by no means a mental disease. At such a moment, it is not the physical pain which hurts the most, and this applies to adults as much as to punished children. It is the mental agony caused by the injustice, the unreasonableness of it all. The more one forgives himself, by giving himself to a cause to serve or another person to love, the more human he is and the more he actualizes himself. As for the concept of collective guilt, I personally think that it is totally unjustified to hold one person responsible for the behavior of another person or a collective of persons. View life as a series of movie frames. The ending and meaning may not be apparent until the very end of the movie, and yet, each of the hundreds of individual frames has meaning within the context of the whole movie. Then I grasped the meaning of the greatest secret that human poetry and human thought and belief have to impart: the salvation of man is through love and in love. This is the core of the human spirit. If we can find something to live for, if we can find some meaning to put at the center of our lives, even the worst kind of suffering becomes bearable. The attempt to develop a sense of humor and to see things in a humorous light is some kind of a trick learned while mastering the art of living. Self-actualization cannot be attained if it is made an end in itself, but only as a side effect of self-transcendence. No man should judge unless he asks himself in absolute honesty whether in a similar situation he might not have done the same. Just as a small fire is extinguished by the storm whereas a large fire is enhanced by it, likewise a weak faith is weakened by predicament and catastrophes whereas a strong faith is strengthened by them. Life is not primarily a quest for pleasure, as Freud believed, or a quest for power, as Alfred Adler taught, but a quest for meaning. The greatest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her own life. For the meaning of life differs from man to man, from day to day and from hour to hour. What matters, therefore, is not the meaning of life in general but rather the specific meaning of a person's life at a given moment.